Okay, so let's unpack this. You've shared some source material, looks like a specific podcast episode, all about getting good at weather conversations in English.
Yeah, exactly. And what's really interesting, I think, is how the source treats this. It's not just, vocabulary.
Mm-hmm.
It positions talking about the weather as this really fundamental skill, almost like a gateway for language learners.
Right. It's like it's more than just words. It's framed almost as a shortcut, to
Yeah.
feeling more comfortable, more sort of ready for those everyday chats. So our mission here for this deep dive is basically to crack open that source material, pull out the really useful bits, the practical tools, and understand why. Why is this skill so important according to them?
Yeah, why focus on weather?
And this deep dive is really tailored for you listening in to help you grab that key knowledge from the source quickly and effectively.
So, okay, where does the source kick things off? It starts with that basic question, why weather? Like, why is this the topic everyone goes to for small talk in English?
And the answer it gives seems, well, pretty straightforward. It's just one of the easiest, most common ways to start talking to someone.
Definitely. It's relatable everywhere, isn't it?
Yeah, and the source really leans into how versatile it is. Think about meeting new people or chatting with coworkers, maybe.
Or just filling those slightly awkward silences.
Yeah.
The weather is, well, it's always there. It's happening.
It actually calls it always safe ground for conversation. And you can kind of see why, right?
Oh, absolutely.
No one's likely to get into a heated debate about whether it's, drizzling.
Exactly. It gives you that sort of low pressure entry point into actually speaking the language.
Okay, so if it's that crucial, what are the absolute, must-know building blocks the source lays out? It starts with some core vocabulary, yeah.
It does. Very basic stuff to describe what you see outside. Sunny, when the sun's out.
Right, and the source specifically suggests repeating simple sentences. Like,
it's sunny today.
yeah,
Just saying it out loud.
got it. Okay, what else?
Then there's cloudy. Pretty obvious sky full of clouds. The example is, it's cloudy this morning.
Simple enough. And rainy, obviously, when it's actually raining.
Yeah, and the example they give connects it to something practical. It's rainy. I need my umbrella.
Ah, I see. So it's not just saying rainy, it's linking it to what you do.
Exactly. Moving from just describing to the implication. Next up is windy, for when there's a strong wind blowing.
Leading to a phrase like, it's very windy today.
Snowy is in there too, naturally, for when snow's falling.
Yeah.
And it often gets paired with temperature.
Well-
Like, it's snowy and cold.
Okay. And speaking of temperature, they cover hot and cold too.
Yep. The absolute basics. Vital words.
Like, it's hot outside.
Or even stronger, like it's freezing, meaning really, really cold. And again, the source emphasizes actually saying these phrases, getting comfortable with the sounds.
Yeah, just getting those few words down gives you a decent starting point. But it doesn't just stop at single words, does it? The source moves on to useful phrases.
Right. This is where you start building actual conversation snippets, how to ask and answer. It highlights what it calls a super common question. What's the weather like today?
That seems like a core one. And the replies it suggests.
Pretty direct. Things like, it's sunny and warm. Or, and this one's interesting, it looks like it might rain.
Oh, okay. So that second one adds a bit of prediction.
Exactly. You're not just describing the now, you're looking ahead a bit. The source also throws in phrases for more specific conditions, like, it's just a drizzle.
Which means light rain.
Yeah, just light rain, it clarifies. Not a heavy downpour.
Okay. And back to temperature, you mentioned it's freezing earlier.
Right. It points that out as a common, maybe slightly informal way to say it's very cold. It's not just the number on the thermometer, it's how it feels.
That makes sense. And there was one more. It's overcast.
Yeah, meaning the sky is just totally covered in clouds, no sun getting through. So these phrases, they build on the basic words, giving you more ways to describe things and, interact.
Now, this is where I think it gets really practical. The source includes a kind of mini conversation, right? Like a role play example.
It does, yeah. It's a really simple setup. Two people meeting outside. And straight away, one asks that key question we just talked about.
How's the weather today?
Exactly. Using it right as an opener.
And the reply isn't just cloudy. It uses a couple of words together.
Right. The example is, it's pretty chilly and cloudy. So combining temperature chilly and the sky condition.
Okay, and then that prediction phrase comes up naturally. Looks like it might rain later.
Which then leads to a practical thought. Mentioning bringing an umbrella, just in case. You can really see the flow there, can't you? Observation, prediction, practical response.
Definitely. And it even moves into personal feelings about it. Someone asks, do you like rainy days?
And the answer shows preference. Not really, I prefer sunny weather, so you can share opinions too.
And they even compare it to yesterday. Something like, it's not too windy like yesterday.
Oh yeah, that adds another layer. You have to remember what yesterday was like. And that leads into that great little detail. That wind almost blew my hat away.
See, that's not just stating facts anymore. That's sharing a little moment, an experience tied to the weather.
Yeah, this whole mini conversation is really helpful because it shows how those simple words and phrases get woven together. You go from just describing to sharing experiences, preferences.
It really demonstrates the power of starting with the basics and building up naturally.
Exactly.
Okay, so we have the words, the phrases, an example conversation. How does the source suggest you, the listener, actually practice this stuff? It gives some concrete tips, right?
Yeah, really practical, everyday things. One is super simple. Every day, just look out the window and say what the weather is in English.
Yeah.
Aloud.
Just connect the word to what you're actually seeing. Makes sense.
Another tip is writing it down. Just a quick sentence in a notebook, maybe. Like, today is sunny and warm. Just helps solidify it.
Okay. Writing it down and listening to.
Yes. Listening to English weather reports. The source points out that's great for hearing new words, different ways of describing things, and crucially, pronunciation.
Good point. And for sounding natural in conversation.
It suggests using those really simple small talk phrases. Things like, nice weather today, huh? Or, lovely day, isn't it?
The kind of thing that doesn't really need a big answer, just keeps the conversation flowing.
Exactly. They're conversational fillers, almost. And none of these practice tips are huge tasks, right? They're small things you can do consistently. That's the key.
Right, building the habit. Okay, so if we're wrapping up the key takeaways from this source material, we've definitely seen why talking about weather is pushed as this fundamental, safe starting point for conversation.
And we've unpacked the essential words sunny, rainy, windy, overcast, freezing, that kind of thing. And those useful phrases like, what's the weather like? Or, it looks like rain.
Yeah, and we saw how it all clicks together in that little role play conversation, which really underlines the value of, practicing these simple exchanges.
So through this deep dive, you've hopefully gotten a solid grasp of those foundational bits for talking about weather in English, plus some really actionable ways to start using them yourself.
It really hits that goal of extracting useful knowledge and practical skills from a source quickly, stuff you can actually use out there in the real world.
And maybe, just to leave you with a thought, if we take what the source says, that just describing something as simple as the weather can be such a powerful way to start connecting. Well, what other seemingly small, everyday things could you notice and talk about?
Right. Think about how just paying attention to your surroundings, like noticing the wind almost taking someone's hat, like in that example, how those little observations can become natural, human ways to start a conversation and connect with people in a new language.